Hi there, Tina here from Miss Daisy Patterns. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this layered felt Christmas tree. The pattern for this is free to download from our website, so if you'd like to pop over, print it out and follow us on into the tutorial. Right, so you have your printed pattern. The next thing you're going to need is white and red felt, craft filler, a jug of rice, a funnel, scissors. You're also going to need some embroidery thread, some notions, a glue gun with glue sticks, and then a ribbon, buttons, jingle bells. I've got small little mushrooms. So it depends. It's a selection of whatever you have to decorate the tree. Right, so what you're going to have done is you're going to have put the pattern together as shown, and you're going to cut out all of the pieces in the amounts on the pattern. So essentially what we're going to have is we're going to have 2 of the very top, 2 of the middle, we're going to have 1 of the base of the Christmas tree, and then you're going to have 2 of the main body of the Christmas tree. And you'll see there in the pattern, it actually has, you've connected the pattern, you've taped it together. Right, so this is how we lay it out. So that is the main under layer. Then you've got the white layer that sits on top of that, the red layer that sits on top of that, and then the base. Right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to assemble them. Right, now I also should have mentioned earlier we need needles and pins as well. Right, so what I'm using here is I'm using 2 strands of red embroidery thread floss, and I'm basically going to whip stitch this together. So I'm basically whip stitching all the way around. Right, now once I've got to close to the top, what I want to do is I want to leave enough space to actually fit the base of the funnel in, so as I can get the rice into it. And then once you've left that space, continue whip stitching all the way down. And once you get to the end, then what we need to do is we need to insert the base. Okay, so inserting the base, literally it fits into the bottom to create a 3-dimensional base to the tree. And how I usually line that up is I'll fold the base in half, and those edges, that points, if you line them up with the seam. So if you got it folded in half, pin that at the seam, coming down. And then do this exact same thing on the opposite side. Exact same thing on the opposite side. Right, so we're going to pin that in place. And this is just to make sure that when we're actually stitching it in, it doesn't move or give in another direction. We end up with an odd shape at the bottom. And then the best thing to do next is to pin the 2 center points. If we pin those 2 center points, then we'll definitely know that it fits perfectly. Right, so that's once we've it pinned here, that should be it set. Right. Okay, and then basically what we do is we continue whip stitching all the way around. Now, all of the stitches in this tutorial, there's a link to each of them in the description box below, just to give you a guideline on how to do them. So we're whip stitching all the way around. And that lines up perfectly. You can remove the pins as you're going. And make sure to have a good few stitches back over each other to make sure that it's nice and secure. Right, so that's that. You can see that that's in place now. Right, now because we will be putting rice at the base of this, I want to make sure that it's nice and strong, so it's well secured. So what I'm going to do next is using the white embroidery thread, and I'm going to use 3 strands this time, and I'm going to do a blanket stitch all the way around the base, and that's so that I've got 2 layers of stitching to hold in place the base, because the rice will be sitting at the end of it, and I don't want it to give. Okay, right, so that's the blanket stitch done all the way around. Again, there will be a link below giving you details on how to do the blanket stitch. Right, so finish that off. Great. The next step that we have to do then is we just need to add the rice. That's nice and secure. So rice, and this is a medium-sized jug. Medium-sized jug. And so you just pop the funnel into the space that we left as we were, the space we skipped as we were going around, and then slowly feed the rice through in. Now, sorry it's so white. Hopefully you can see it, but literally the rice is just going through the funnel, and I'm guiding it down to the base. Right, so that's, and it will take the whole jug. It will take the whole jug. So that's that. That's the rice all the way in, and then you can just, if you smooth the rice out to the edges, and then on top of that, if you fill the Christmas tree with craft filler. Now it will take quite a bit of craft filler and quite a bit of manoeuvring around, but you want to fill it good and sturdy, because it's going to actually be the base to the layers of the Christmas tree. So push as much of that craft filler into the corners and holding the rice as well in place. Right, so it's nice and sturdy, it's good and strong. Right, so the next thing we do then is just whip stitch that opening closed. Right, so that's that. That's the base of the Christmas tree, the layered Christmas tree finished. That's that section done. Now the next two sections that we need to work on is the middle layer. And in the middle layer, what we're going to do here is using the red embroidery thread, we're going to do a blanket stitch on down the left hand side, down the right hand side, and completely around the circumference of the base of the layer. So just like I've done here. So that's that section done. There's no need to do the top section because that is actually going to be covered by the top layer. You don't need to do that. Blanket stitch around, and then on this one what we're going to do is we're going to use white embroidery thread, and we're going to blanket stitch literally the entire mountain shape and all around the circumference of the base again. And for both of these I've used 3 strands of embroidery floss thread, so as it gives a nice good strong colour. Right, so that's that done. So that's your middle layer and your top layer. And then we're just going to put them, we're going to layer them now over the Christmas tree. So you just pop that in and position it, okay? And then you just pop the top on and position it. So that's it. That's literally your layered Christmas tree, the base of it done. Now it's just to have fun and start decorating. And this is where you can use any of the bells or the buttons or the bows. This is entirely whatever you have, you can use. Now just to secure those layers in place, an optional thing that you can do is to put a dab of glue on it and just hold it in place. And again on the top. Now I don't necessarily do this on all of them because sometimes I like to change the layer colours. If you had a few trees, you could have the layers interchangeable. Right, so to decorate I'm going to use a hessian bow. Now that's been pre-made from another project. And I'm going to use the wooden buttons. So I put a wooden button right in the centre of the bow. I'm going to use, and again using hot glue for this. And then just pop it onto the very top of the tree. Right. And again, take your time. Position whatever you want on it, whatever colours you want. If you've got different types of buttons, you might have more bows. It's whatever you want to use. Now I actually have the jingle bells out in this section, and it turned out that when I was actually going through the tree, I didn't use them because I didn't actually think that they were necessary. But you'll find that as you're adding different pieces on, there'll be sections that you might use and you might not use. I particularly like these. These are little polystyrene mushrooms. I think they're very cute. And again, I was wondering, will I put 2 here, 3 here? And at this point, I just cut off the base because I actually wanted the third one to sit in place. So again, it's using your imagination. Once you have the base of the tree done, you can go in any direction you want whilst decorating it. At that point, that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm happy with that. So that is my layered Christmas tree finished. Yay! I do hope you enjoyed making our layered felt Christmas tree. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. We'll be making Christmas tutorial videos every Tuesday and Thursday from now right up until Christmas, and we'd love to see you again. Bye!